One of the best ways to build a high retention product is to take your customer on a journey toward mastery. And one of the best ways to analyze and leverage your competition is to do a competitive teardown. Check out this insightful analysis created by two researchers from Jam City of the mobile fashion game Love Nikki. If you're building a product with an internal economy, you need to pay attention to this teardown of a surprisingly deep and highly profitable mid-core mobile game.
I am a user researcher on the consumer insights team. Whenever there's a new game or a new event or a new feature that we want to put into our games, I bring people in from the outside and I just talk to them about our games. I see what's working and I see what's not. So if something is confusing or if something is unclear, then I bring that back to the game team. So I get to watch people play games for a living.
My name is Lisa. I am a consumer insights manager and I have worked on this team for about 2.5 years at this point. I love our team. And my job is a little bit different from Casey's, but we both work on the same team. I look at a lot of games that we have. I get to test games also as well, but I test it in a slightly different environment. User research and consumer insights are very much goes hand in hand, and I'm really excited to hear her teardown today.
For discovery, we're using these job stories to understand how players interact with the game. When I'm looking for a dress-up game or design game, I want to find a game with a large collection of options and appealing aesthetics so I can create and express myself through my design choices. When you first open the App Store and you look at this game, you see a couple cover photos, and all of those cover photos focus on choice and your ability to choose and create things that are your own. And that's really important in this game, and it shows in all of their comments. So you see things like choose your makeup look, choose your outfit, personally tailored, style your unique home. It really appeals to that person that wants to create something that's theirs and theirs alone. Next, you see the value proposition. They talk about the large variety of styles in this game. There are like 20 of them. So it talks about European styles, it talks about futuristic sci-fi, dreamlike fairy tales. And then the other thing it focuses on is the social aspect. Throughout that entire description, you just see things like compete and battle against other players, play with friends, and join social pages. Next, so we download the app. What does the onboarding look like? When I first enter the game, I want to learn how to create my own designs and compete with others so I can make progress and feel creative. And so this is the first thing you see when you start the game. While the game is loading, it'll show you pictures of all the different outfits you can collect in the game. So after that, there's a little short cinematic that introduces the storyline. And it's just super quick. It's not really animated or anything like that. It's just kind of like comic book screens. After that, you learn how to create outfits, which is the bread and butter for this game. It teaches you how to put on a dress. So you have your styling options on the right. And once you put on the dress, you go into your first competition. So this is really different because not only are you designing, but your outfit is being judged against somebody else's. In this case, it's a computer. Then the game teaches you how to compete with other people. And you can see here that there's a very clear winner and a very clear loser. You get a score based on how well your outfit did, and then you either win or you lose. And if you win, then your score is ranked. It could be an F if you did really badly, to a D, to a C, all the way to an S if you did really well. How does the scoring work? Well, it's kind of complicated. They give you design criteria. You might see a computer character that says something like, use a professional style against me, or I want to go to a formal wedding, so pick something for that, or I want to do something outdoorsy, so pick something for that. And each of these stages and each person that you play against has a certain attribute. There are 10 possible attributes for this game, and each piece of each stage and each level that you're playing on, as well as the clothing option you have, has 5 of those attributes. So basically what you're trying to do is match the attributes that are on the stage with the attributes that you're putting on. Each of those people that you battle is listed on a main story map or a saga map. This kind of mirrors what you see in saga maps in other casual games.
Yeah. I would say that the saga map here is really interesting because you have different levels of the saga map that you go back and replay for different types of clothing. And that really plays well into that core RPG mechanic instead of like a more casual mechanic.
Each stage you play has 2 leaderboards. So for everybody that's playing this game, who's the top person, who got the top score. And then there's a separate tab for your friends. And out of your friends, who has that top score. I've played these levels a lot just to meet my friends.
Yeah.
Every time you play one of these stages, if you do well, there's a chance that you can get an item drop. But because there's only a chance, you can go from 30% or 10 for some others, or 15. So it really encourages replay. You don't just finish these levels once and that's it. You have to keep going back basically to get the pieces that you want.
Let's put a highlight on that for a moment. There's a lot of things in this game that drive retention. It's not just one thing. And so you just introduced one of the first ones, which is a particular mechanic that encourages replay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to notice if you're wanting to drive retention in your product.
After you learn about the levels and you learn how to compete, then you start learning how to obtain more outfits and more clothing pieces. So the first is the store. For the store, you just go in and buy outfits with coins that you've earned from other stages. There are other things like pavilions. So pavilion is a gacha system. That's basically just a random pull. So every 24 hours, you can go back into this pavilion and pull a random piece. How else can you obtain more outfits? There's a crafting system in this game. All the outfit pieces that you buy from the store, that you get from the pavilion or the levels, you can combine those to create even more extravagant and special clothing. And this goes really deep into a rabbit hole. I mean, you could craft something that crafts into something else. You can also battle in the arena. They have this thing called the stylist arena, which is basically what you're doing in the levels where you're playing against another person, but this is against other people's outfits, so actual other players that are creating these outfits. From that, you get another currency. So this game has like 10 different types of currency, which is also insane for a mobile game. I don't even know the names of all of them. For the stylist arena, you collect star coins, and with star coins, you can buy rare recipes. That'll give you even rarer clothes, or you can buy dyes. And with dyes, you can use those to customize the color and the print of your clothing. If you have something that's green and you don't really like the color, you can change it to a pink, or you can change it to a cyan. And you could also evolve some outfits too. There are some outfits that look plain, but if you evolve them, they turn into a crazy version of themselves, kind of like Pokemon, but with clothes.
So this system coupled with crafting, like these are, again, very complex systems that you don't normally see in casual games.
Yeah, very RPG. So this is the summary of everything that we just talked about. You can go to the arena and you can win star coins. You customize clothes from there, so you can change the color, you can change them into other clothes, or you can decompose them. If you decompose them, you get even more items that you can use to reconstruct different clothing. So it's kind of just this huge loop. It's really never ending. We know how to get clothes now. What does the habit building look like? Why do we keep coming back to this game? What brings us back? The first is to just complete your daily quests. This game uses diamonds as its hard currency. Hard currency in a game is usually the currency that is very, very hard to find, is very, very valuable, and usually costs real money to collect. In this game, diamonds are extremely, extremely limited. You use them for the events, and that's usually the only currency that can be used during the events. And the most consistent way to collect more diamonds is to complete daily quests. They're the same every day, they never change, and they're really easy to complete. It takes only about 15 minutes to finish all of these. Something like play 10 levels, or share 3 times, or complete an achievement, something of that sort. Really simple things. You want to come back to this game to see what's new. New events are introduced probably every 1 to 2 weeks, depending. Events can take any kind of format. You could read a story for special pieces, you could do a quiz, you could do levels, you could play against other people. And what usually happens is events give new outfits. It's an outfit that you can really only get from that event. And you'll get a few outfit pieces, so you'll maybe get like a quarter, maybe half if you're lucky, of that suit's pieces using your daily chances. But finishing a suit always costs diamonds, always. And it could be a small amount depending on how cool the suit is or how intricate it is, or it could be a really large amount. So this ties back into your dailies. Why you always want to do your dailies is to get enough currency for these events. Designing outfits is the core activity of the game. You can mix and match anything that you have in your wardrobe. You have a free dress option where you create outfits and you can set them as your avatar. It goes from really the stuff you would expect, like hair and dress, and then it goes all the way to what they're holding in their right hand, what they're holding in their left hand, and even the tattoo that they have. The sheer magnitude of how many pieces there are in this game is just so hard to comprehend. There are over 18,000 individual pieces in this game. The other part that goes along with that is you play this game to complete collections. Anybody that plays games understands how satisfying it is to complete a collection. In this game, there are 7 main kingdoms that they call it that kind of fits with the story. And each of those kingdoms has a specific style. So you have a kingdom that specializes in modern clothing. You have a kingdom that specializes in cute and sweet clothing, all the way to Arctic, elegant, tribal, futuristic. So it just goes on and on. Players can view any of these suits in the game at all times in the gallery. But what's really cool about the collection system in this game, we call in this game a suit is an entire outfit. So when you complete a suit, it'll give you this great shiny, like you did it, suit completed sign. Also, when you complete a suit, many suits have special poses or action poses, and you can only obtain those by finishing the entire suit. For side activities, and there are a ton of them, the first one, and one of the most important, is your friends, the social aspect. You have a friends list, and the friends list will show you your friend's current avatar. It'll show you the number of collection pieces that they own. It'll show you their VIP level, which is their spend level. So you can see actually for each of your friends how much they've spent in the game. And it'll also show you the last time they were seen online, which is a really cool feature. Players can send each other energy per day, so you can keep completing levels. And that's at a max of 50 per day. Another side activity, and this is probably what I spend the most time on in the game, every 3 days, you can enter something called a competition. This is subjective. Every competition has a different theme. In the examples here, the one on the left is with mythical creatures. For with mythical creatures, you want to pick stuff with dragons and with lions and griffins and stuff like that. 2 outfits are shown side by side that 2 people have created, and you can vote on your favorite using a like button at the bottom. You get a rank, so 1 to 25, top 5%, top 10, top 20, and you receive rewards depending on that rank. Another side activity that a lot of people gravitate towards is the Starry Corridor. In the Starry Corridor, players submit photos of their avatar, but it comes with much more flexibility than anywhere else in the game. You can position your avatar with other people. If I went to my friends list, I could pick their avatar to sit with my own and have 2 people in a picture. You could rotate your avatar, you could reverse it, you could change the size so you can make it smaller or larger, and then you can add as many background and foreground items as you want. This allows for insane amounts of creativity, and people spend hours upon hours in these photos and creating these photos. Associations are kind of equivalent to a club system or a clan system that you see in other RPGs. Up to 38 players can be in an association. They have their own separate saga maps, so you can only complete these saga maps with your other association members. And what you're doing is getting association-specific outfits. So there are some outfits that you can only get from doing these activities with other people. It's pretty robust. It has an actual chat system in the game. You can talk to other people in the game. There's another activity where you can play alongside them. You're doing levels basically with them. And then you can donate currency to the group. So if you're feeling especially helpful, you can actually give them currency as well.
This game seems to be designed so people can play it in some different ways.
Even another side activity is they have a home. Every person gets this little house of sorts, which can also be customized in the same way that you would customize your clothing. In a way, this is a much smaller version of The Sims as a side activity in this game. Even another side activity, so learn more about the characters. So they have this portion of the game where all those people that you're styling against and all those people that you get to know through the story, each of them has separate little mini stories that you can go through for various items. Those are all the side activities. Next, we looked at the re-engagement trigger. Post onboarding, what keeps you coming back to this game? If you stop, what'll bring you back? There are both internal and external motivations for this. So for internal, you want to see upcoming events. You want to see what's new. You just want to see all the new things that they're adding to the game because every 1 or 2 weeks, there's more. And then for external rewards, players that haven't logged in for 20 days get these special rewards that don't appear to anybody else.
There was a time where I didn't play for 20 days and then this popped up and then Casey got really jealous because I got a ton of things from the nap hut, which really is just that re-engagement trigger. And I found myself playing this game on a daily basis after I got this because I just got a bunch of currency. It's really effective in getting you to play the game more.
Yeah, that is a lot of currency that they throw at you. But again, it just works to re-engage you with the game.
Yeah, interesting. You have to really tune that stuff. so you don't piss off the regular players too much.
Next, we talked about mastery. After you have your habits, what else can you do in this game? Is there anything else that'll keep you interested and that you can work towards? When I've finished the story and collected many outfits and pieces, I want to continue to collect rare, valuable, and exclusive items so I can achieve all the game has to offer. I can get the best scores, I can beat all my friends. This game has something called lifetime suits. Lifetime suits are very, very intricate, very beautiful suits that often connect with the actual story itself. This is kind of like in other RPGs when you have that ultimate weapon that's going to take you weeks or months to grind out for. This game's version of that. The way that you get lifetime suits is by collecting 60 to 80 copies of special drops in the saga map levels. These special drops only have a 15% drop rate, and you can only play the stage 3 times a day without spending. If you can only play the stage 3 times a day and there's a 15% drop rate, you need 80 copies of this thing, it's going to take you months, probably half a year or so to complete if you're playing every single day.
This exclusivity thing is really interesting, especially for those who are like, I have a lot of things. What more do I need? And then they come out with these really amazing looking, super exclusive items that you have to just go for.
Pavilions are another final boss of the game, and these were mentioned in the very beginning, but this is the gacha system again that gives you a random piece every day. There are some items that you can only get from dropping currency into the pavilion, and the drop rates for them are extremely low. So after playing every day for a year, I'm still missing about half of them. Out of all the things that I think this game does right, I think the monetization and how they package spending is probably their most impressive, just in terms of what it looks like and how it makes people feel. There's a couple ways that they monetize in this game. The first are time-limited packs. There are 25 limited packs where one of them appears randomly each day. Some of them offer an exclusive suit that you can only get from a time-limited pack. Some of them offer currency. It could just be any number of things. But because that pack is randomly selected every day, you can go months without seeing a suit that you actually want. So when it comes up, it just leads to this urgency, kind of like, I'm not going to see this again for 3 months. I should just get it now. And the main way that they monetize in this game is from diamond recharges. Diamonds, again, are that hard currency that's really, really hard to get. You use it for all of your events, and it's just really limited. You can recharge for a lump sum of diamonds. What's special is every first time that you recharge diamonds, you get double the amount. And this is reset every 3 to 4 months. So every 3 to 4 months, the first time you buy a pack of diamonds, you get twice the amount. Buying $5 worth of diamonds nets you a monthly card, which gives you 60 diamonds for the next 30 days, which is a great deal if you think about it, considering how much more you would have to spend just for the lump sum.
Yeah, I think that the VIP system in this game is especially brilliant. By doing those recharges, you add up to your VIP level, and seeing that there's just that little bit more that if I bought, that would push me up to the next level, really makes me want to go to that next level. It feels like it's worth it to be buying at a specific level.
What's the mental conversation that you have with yourself that you end up joyfully buying?
For me, I will have a limited number of diamonds, and I'll see an event with a suit that I really like. So I won't have enough diamonds to finish that event suit. But if I go to the store, I see that if I just buy $5 worth, I can get everything that I want. I can get even more, so 30 days more worth of diamonds. They have these recharge suits. So when big events are occurring, the game offers recharge suits that you can only obtain by recharging a certain number of diamonds. I need diamonds to finish the event, so by buying something worth $5, which is not that much in comparison to some of the other things in this game, I can finish that event. I get double the amount of diamonds. I get a monthly card for the next 30 days of diamonds, and I get an exclusive recharge suit.
So interesting. This game blows my mind.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out too, so recharge suits in this game can be a lot of money. It goes as high as $100 for some of them in those cases. The amount that people spend on this game is crazy. This is a recharge suit just from a couple weeks ago. You can see how intricate it is, but you can also see the comments from people that are posting about it on Reddit where they say, I need it. It's not even I want it or it's, I would be happy with this. It's I need that. And the second comment is, of course, that adorable thing is $100 freaking dollars. I've done it before and I'll do it again if we get it. So they really did make buying just into this like positive thing. Like it's so positive and it's so exciting to get something new that you don't care about spending, which I think is really rare in mobile games.
And it's tied up with creativity. It's like you want it, but you're not going to like put it on a shelf. You're going to do stuff with it.
Right. The VIP system comes with benefits. If you have a higher VIP, it gives you access to more rewards. It gives you more chances to do the side quests in the game. It gives you discounts in the stores. And the VIP level, like we saw before, is visible on all your friends lists. So takeaways, what this game did well. So this game has very aesthetically pleasing and varied styles and art. There's really something for everybody. If you like fantasy, you can go the fantasy route. If you like gothic or horror, you can go that route. There's really just a ton of different styles in this game and literally years of collection content. You could be playing this game for years and not collect everything. You can seamlessly mix and match pieces for creative expression. It's very easy to make something that looks good, even though all of these things are from separate outfits. Social components are there and they're well integrated. It feels natural. It feels like you're playing with other people and it feels like those people progress with you. There are a ton of side activities that are not part of the main game progression. So you can stay in the game for long periods of time. Yeah, just doing different things. So you're never really stopped at any point or have a lack of things to do.
Yeah, for me, like one session will take anywhere between like 15 to 40 minutes, depending on what I'm trying to complete. Like the dailies will even take me at least like 5 to 7 minutes if I'm just doing the check-ins and then seeing what else I need to do.
And last but not least, for what they did well, highly effective monetization techniques that always feel positive. And you can see this just in people saying that they need pieces, that they're so excited to see them, that they've been waiting for it. So just really crazy ideas about spend here. For what they didn't do well, so things that they could have improved on, poor localization. So this game was originally a Chinese game. So the localization, at least when I first played it, was not that great. Dialogue was kind of unreadable at times. It didn't make very much sense. The marketing strategy focuses on the words dress up as opposed to design. So when most people think dress up, they're probably thinking Barbies, they're thinking something more childish. So it doesn't really communicate that huge, expansive RPG look we actually see in this game. The Fatui is the first time user experience, so that has to do with the tutorials and the onboarding. It's overly complicated and overwhelming for new players. You get introduced to everything really quickly. You can play casually, but it's definitely not meant for those people. And too many events can give players fatigue.
And we've got some great questions. In fact, there's one about the art. So Kevin Craneson asked, if you had to estimate how much of the fandom surrounding the game art comes from tapping directly into anime gacha culture, what do you think?
I think that anime played a part in it, but I think that this game appealed to a section of the US audience who may not have been into anime. I think it's more about the clothing possibilities. That's what drew a lot of these people. Some people might not even like the art style, but they like the choices too.
Eddie asked, even the most customizable RPGs communicate an ideal state to users. How does the open-ended nature of this game avoid overwhelming its audience? Or is the target demo just comfortable with it? Great question.
Speaking from experience, like the game is overwhelming. The game has a lot of things that it needs to work on. Like there's a lot of things that they need to streamline. There's a lot of things that are a little extra. For me, I'll never go and customize my home. That's not something that appeals to me. But there is that choice in this game that you can go and choose the things that you want to do. So I think that that kind of like that choice and freedom takes away from that expectation of I have to go and do 1,000 things in this game.
For me, it's not so much overwhelming just because I know all of my pieces so well that I'm always looking for something new. So I know what I have, but those new things just look so new and shiny.
So we have another question from Chandler who asks, what would you say the average monthly yearly spend is for players in this game? Do we have any rough estimates?
I think that the crux of it is that it's really hard not to spend money sometimes in this game because you really have to grind for it and you really want to spend money at the end of the day.
There was an article I read about this game that did say that for the amounts of users, the revenue was very high per user.
We heard anecdotally, it sounds like thousands of dollars. for many players if you're spending $100 a month. So we got another question. This actually came in before. This is a really complicated game. Where do you go if you need help with the game? What's going on? Do you go to Reddit or Discord? What's going on there?
I go to the subreddit a lot. So the subreddit, and not just for Love Nikki, but for basically any game that you can think of, the subreddit is a huge community that just has all the information that you need. They just have people talking and asking questions to each other. They have people talking about the latest events. A lot of associations, actually, those groups of 38 people or so, a lot of those associations have their own Discord channels. I've seen some really hardcore associations where if you don't join the Discord channel, you can't be a part of that association. The amount of dedication that you put into this game can vary, for sure. But the information's out there on the usual public social channels.
Thank you so much, Casey and Lisa, for sharing that. I think I loved understanding, this corner of the world. And I gotta say, for anybody that's building free-to-play shopping and wants to monetize it, I think this game is a must play.
Thank you. Bye.
If you'd like to do your own Mastery Path Teardown for your own project, download our Mastery Path Teardown cheat sheet. Go to gamethinking.io/teardown and download your copy now.